چطوری این بازیگرانی که تا حالا جلوی نیومدن اینقدر زیبا میتونن تو فیلم بازی کنن که حتی جایزه بزرگی جهانی هم بگیرن.
The most common question that I have faced in my life was that how come an amateur artist portrays a character in front of the camera that they are facing for the first time? That how come they made this character so lively that even this film gets internationally recognized and awarded through the whole world? How come amateur artists do that?
به طور مثال فیلم آواز گنجشگاه هنرپیشه‌اش جایزه اول برلین رو گرفت سال 2008 جایزه بهترین بازیگری رو کسی برای اولین بار جمهوری بود تونست جایزه اول برلین رو بگیره.
For example, I would like to say about the central artist of the film, The Song of the Sparrows. He got the Best Actor Award, the Best Performer Award in Berlin for the first time.
یا فیلم آخر من فیلم خورشید سانگ چیلدرن بچه‌های خورشید توی ونیز نوجوان اول فیلم جایزه بهترین بازیگر رو گرفت بهترین پنده بازیگری گرفت یه جایزه خیلی اصلا ویژه‌ای که همه بازیگران دوست دارن جایزه رو بگیرن و این بچه جایزه رو گرفت.
Or the last film that I have made, the Sun Children. The kids were there. They got the very prestigious award from Venice Film Festival. They became the best performer who were actually facing the camera for the first time of their life. It's a very prestigious award. Everyone actually longs for winning this award, but they were the kids who won this award for the first time facing the camera.
جوابش هم خیلی ساده است و هم خیلی سخته که چطور میشه این انقدر خوب بازی کنه.
The answer of this question is both actually. It's very easy and also very difficult.
برای اینکه درست انتخاب کنه.
The first thing that you need to know is to select correctly, select accurately.
و این درست انتخاب کردن خیلی کار سختیه بچه‌ها. ولی وقتی که شما درست انتخاب می‌کنید، از نظر من 60% تا 70% مسیر رو رفتید.
And it's actually really tough work to select correctly, to select accurately. If you can do this, 60 to 70% of work is already done. It's the toughest thing, but it also makes your journey of cinema very easy if you can do it correctly.
بخشش داره سختی که شما بعضی وقتا برای پیدا کردن این بازیگر که برای این نقش بازی کنه شاید مجبورید ماها بگردیم و چند هزار نفر رو تست بگیریم بگردیم و اون آدم خاص رو برای این نقش پیدا کنیم.
And maybe it will take the most of your time to, you have to maybe contact with thousands of people, you have to take taste of more than thousands of persons, you have to see them, you have to go to the places, you have to do a lot of work that will take a long time, but when you are done with your work more than 60 to 70%, you have done your work, half of your work is done.
برای همین فیلم بچه آسمان که خب تقریبا دیدن برای پیدا کردن اون پسر بچه و دختر مثلا پسره واقعا چیزی حدود نزدیک به 4 ماه تمام با یه اکیپ مثلا شاید 7-10 نفر از دستیاران چیزی حدود شاید مثلا بین 6 تا 7,000 تا دانش آموز رو دیده شد و شاید از 1000 نفرش رو تست گرفته شد تا این هدیه بچه آسمان پیدا شد.
Like, for example, I would like to say the boy who played the character Majid from my film Children of Heaven. To find him, the persons, people who, my crew members, my team members, they took auditions of more than thousands of kids, and they have searched for him, and it took us almost more than 4 months that we have searched for the perfect kid, perfect son for Ali, who can portray Ali the best. And after 4 months of hard work and taking auditions of thousands of kids, we were finally successful to find the boy who you see in the character of Majid today.
I think that thing happened for the Beyond the Clouds, right? The same thing happened in that film also. You have to search a new face for the film and you have to shoot it in India, right? So what was that experience?
برای اون فیلمی هم که توی هند کار کردم گاوز همین ایشان خاطر که الان یکی از ستاره های بالیوود شده الان. خب این رو من البته خب برادرش هنرپیشه بود، نه به خاطر برادرش، و به هر حال تستایی که گرفتیم خیلی بنبایی گشتیم و وقتی که به ایشان رسیدم دیدم خیلی بااستعداده و ایشان اولین فیلمش بود که تو همین فیلم باز کرد و من مطمئن بودم این بازیگر بزرگی میشه، الان یکی از ستاره‌های بالیوود شده. جوونه و حالا خیلی مسیر داره. ما تو فیلم من 10 سالش بود، الان 22 سالشه و مطمئنم که هنرپیشه خیلی بزرگی خواهد شد.
The presenter asked him that I think the same incident happened for finding the correct person to portray the character from the movie Beyond the Clouds, and he said that yes, the boy Ishan Khatter, who was only 17 years old and he was a newcomer to the film industry, I found him. Of course, his brother was a very renowned film artist. His family had good history with cinemas and all, but it was not the fact he was selected. I took auditions of so many kids and I then finalized him. And when I worked with him, I was sure that someday he will be really a big star of cinema. And I know that now he is a very renowned name in Indian cinema. Of course, he's very young, he has a long way to go, but I know that he had the potential from the first time I met him and I worked with him.
Okay, we have that about your influence on your work at the Hollywood filmmakers. Do you like to know about like poet Hafiz, Sadi, and Rumi? Those mystic poets have a great influence on your work also. So tell us about something on that.
من یه اجازه از شما میخوام و از بچه ها.
I would like to take permission from you and the audience that we have here today.
اجازه بدید من چون این جلسه در واقع فیلمسازها هستن، اگر خب مثلا مردم عادی بودن بیشتر سعی میکنم که مفاهیم و چیز صحبت کنم، ولی الان دوست دارم که بچه ها چون فیلمساز هستن من کمی تخصصی راجع به خود سینما و تجربیات خودم رو برای بچه ها بگم که به درد بچه ها بکنم.
He actually said that, allow me, I know that you all have interest about so many things that you want to know from me, and I would also love to share all these things that with you all, but I think that the program that is going on here today is about cinema, and I would like to really share my experience about the cinema because the audience who are here today most are the filmmakers. And I would like to talk about the cinema and cinema making and all these things about. All the other things, of course, we will find some time and we'll discuss about it.
It was actually, I was asking the influence of the cinema. Okay, in general, we have seen that the Iranian films carry poetic and philosophical kind of thing in terms of thoughts or the idea. Iranian film, they are actually disseminating philosophical ideas and poetic ideas. So for Mr. Majid Majidi, his films are really a slow-paced movie and it carries a kind of a narrative which are actually portray a celestial thing or a spiritual thing, but he denied that it is not a spiritual, but another kind of mystical thing he dealt in his film. So we want to know the comment on that thing. Exactly, মানে আমি বলতে চাচ্ছি যে আধ্যাত্মিকতা তার ছবিতে, যে স্পিরিচুয়ালিটি, সেই স্পিরিচুয়ালিটি আসলে তার ছবিতে নেই। তিনি বলতে চান যে ঈশ্বর সর্বত্র বিরাজমান, এই ধরনের বিষয়। তো এই যে এই ঐশ্বরিক বিষয়টি তিনি তার চলচ্চিত্রে বলতে চান, কিন্তু আবার ঠিক আধ্যাত্মিক ছবিও নয় সেটি। So we want to hear about that.
باز من برمیگردم به اون صحبت خودم، حتی این سوال جواب میدم، ولی از اینجا به بعد میخوام که دوستان اجازه بدن که من خودم به اصطلاح جلسه رو اونجوری که فکر میکنم مطالبی که به درد بچه‌ها میخوره رو بگم و بعدم مقالات شما دارم آخر سوال بود باز انجام بدم. الان جواب میدم اینو، ولی بعدش میرم اون سلسله که خودم میخوام به بچه‌ها چیزی میگم و بعد آخرش هم شما اگه سوالی بود و
He said that the topic that I was discussing earlier, let me complete that and then I will answer your this question too, and also if audience have any kind of question about this experience.
ببینید خب حالا من راجع به این سوال جواب میدم که به هر حال سینمای ایران خیلی متأثر از ادبیات ایران به هر حال ادبیات بسیار غنی داشته، مثل حافظ، مولانا، سعدی، فردوسی. اینها خیلی در زندگی مردم جاری بوده و همین هنرهای دیگه هم خیلی تاثیر داشتن.
As you all know now about the answer of your question, he's saying that as you all know that Persian literature is one of the richest and worldwide accepted literatures of the world, and we have poets like Rumi, Sadi, Hafiz, Khayyam, and Ferdowsi who had deep and very deep impact on the people of the world, but especially on the people who are like directly connected with Persian literature. So obviously the Iranian films also had a great attachment and great influence, had taken great influence from Persian literature too.
برای همینه که در واقع سینما ایران می‌بینیم که خیلی به زبان در واقع شعر و نقاشی تصویری خب خیلی نزدیکه، برای اینکه پشتوانه ادبیات ایران گذاشته.
And that's why as the Iranian people, they are very much like motivated and they are very much like in touch with the Persian literature. When you see the Iranian cinema, you will see that the very fair presence of Persian literature can be seen on the Iranian movies, because when they think from the point of view of that literature they have learned that had very, very deep influence on their life and their memories. So that's why the presence of Persian literature and the things that are very common in Persian literature, like the nature, description of nature, the connection with your creator, all these things are very, very visible in the Iranian cinemas.
مثلا یکی از شاعرای ایران به اسم سهراب سپهری که از شاعرای معاصر هستن، به قدر شعراش تصویریه، همه شعرش ادبیاتش در واقع تصویری، همه سینماست. من میگم که سهراب سپهری بیشتر از اینکه شاعرش سینماگر هم اینقدر تصاویر سینماییه که آقای کیارستمی فیلم خانه دوست کجاست که یکی از شعرهای خود شعرهای سراب سپهری هستش از اون انتخاب کرده و در واقع میشه گفتش که روح خود فیلم هم فیلم خانه دوست کجاست کاملا شعرهای سراب سپهری.
Like I would like to say about Sohrab Sepehri, one of the contemporary poets of modern Persian literature. All of his poems are they are like paintings, they are like arts. Okay, all of his poems, and so he had a great impact on the filmmakers of these contemporary filmmakers of Iran. And when we see, we actually in Iran say that Sohrab Sepehri was more than a filmmaker than a poet. Obviously, he didn't make any film, but the poems that he has written, they are very much, each and every one of them are like a piece of art. And most filmmakers of Iran, they are very much like influenced and they are very much impacted by these. And you will see that even here, for example, he say that one of the very famous film of Mr. Abbas Kiarostami, Where Is My Friend's House? This film was also, the story of the film was also taken from a poem of Sohrab Sepehri, and the core or the gist of this film was actually the kind of thing that was portrayed on Sohrab Sepehri's poem.
به قدر این شعرها تصویریه، مثلا یه شعری داره، حالا مضمونش رو در واقع میگم، به اسم آب را گل نکنید.
Like now I would like to give the example more precisely for you all. Like there is one very famous poem of Sohrab Sepehri. The meaning of the Persian word is "Ab ro gel nakonid." Okay, if we translate it from Persian to English, it becomes like don't pollute the water, don't make the water dirty.
میگه آب را گل نکنید، شاید در فرود است، یعنی پایین دست رودخانه، کودکی داره آب میخوره.
Like the poem, the story of the poem he likes to share with you all that there was
آب داره میخوره، کودکی داره آب میخوره.
A kid was actually drinking water from a river.
یا میگه دست خشکیده‌ای، دستی نان خشکیده‌ای رو در آب فرو برده.
And he had a dry bread on his hand, and he put that on the water and made it softer to it.
تماما این تصویره در زبان شعرش زبان تصویره.
And the way it was portrayed in the Persian poem, it was totally a piece of art. That it's a very simple thing that we are hearing now, and maybe we'll think that it's a very simple thing. What's there to like special in it? But the way it was put on Sohrab Sepehri's poem, that was really, really very artistic.
این زبان تصویر خیلی به سینما ایران کمک.
And these kind of languages, this kind of portrayal really, really influenced the Iranian filmmakers to write their film scripts in a very specific way.
یا شاهنامه، تمام قصه هایی که در شاهنامه است، تمام اشعاری که در شاهنامه است، تمامش خیلی سینماست، خیلی دراماتیک و خیلی سینمایی وصف میشه.
And all of you know about Shahnama, the greatest epic literature of Persian literature, and also very well known in world epic literature. Shahnama. It's actually a collection of numerous stories related to the kings of the Persian empires and dynasties. And from first to the very last of this epic was where each and every line of this epic was like a cinema script. It was portrayed so beautifully that it also had a very, very deep impact on the Iranian cinema makers.
نکته که درش خیلی جالبه در اشعار شاعر بزرگ مثل حافظ، خب حافظ در قرن مثلا هشتم، هفتم در واقع شعر گفته، ولی وقتی شعر حافظ الان میخونی احساس میکنی که همین الان نگاه برای حال امروز تو گفته، برای حال امروز انسان امروز گفته.
And another very specific example I would like to say is about Hafiz Shirazi. All of you know his name. He's or Khayyam, Omar Khayyam. Both of them are the some of the like two of the best leaders of Persian literature. And like when Hafiz wrote his poems, it was 7th or 8th century from that time. But even today, when you read a poem of Hafiz Shirazi, you will feel like this story, the lines, the feelings that he's describing in his poems are very, very real, and you can feel it from your life. You can connect with them. Like it's not written very long ago. It's like the recent things, which means that you can connect with it like it's happening in your life.
من خودم وقتی که خیلی دنبال کردم دیدم راز این جاودانگیش در چیه؟ شعر حافظ، مولانا، سعدی، این راز جاودانگیش در چیه که اینقدر ماندگاره و برای همیشه است. انگار که با انسان امروز اون برای قرن هشتم گفته، ولی قرن 2000 قرن 21 هم میفهمه این چیه، رازش در کجاست.
And I was really, really like surprised, and I really followed this. That what is the secret of this? What's the secret that something that Hafiz has written very long ago, even today in this century, modern century of modern technology and everything. When I read this or when I see this, I feel connected with it. I feel that it's the story of myself. What's the secret that made this like eternal and made this connectable to each and every person from every centuries?
من وقتی که دنبال کردم این رو کشف کردم که حافظ یعنی همه شاعر بزرگ با انسان حرف میزنن و با فطرت انسانی، با فطرت بشری صحبت میکنن، چیزی که پیامبران هم در واقع با این زبان با بشر صحبت کردن. حتی قرآن هم با در واقع وجود فطری بشر صحبت میکنه. برای همینه که ما نگاه، چون انسان همیشه انسان هست و چیزایی که خداوند در وجود ما گذاشته به اسم فطرت این همیشه هست. مثلا عشق، محبت، گذشت، فداکاری، این جزو خصایل انسانیه. هیچ وقت حبه نمیره. کمرنگ میشه در جوامعی ممکنه که روحش از دست بده، ولی همیشه به عنوان فطرت انسانی هست. حافظ، سعدی، مولانا به این زبان نزدیک شدن، یکی مثل آثارشون جاودانه باشه. و من این رو یاد گرفتم که برای جاودانگی باید به فطرت بشر نزدیک شد.
And when I searched for this, I searched for the secret. I realized that the secret thing is that all of them, they were actually talking to people. They were actually talking to the person. Whoever read their work, they will feel like the poet is talking to me. They will feel like whatever is written here, the poet wants to talk to me, that he wants to tell this to me. And another thing I felt that the basic human instinct, it's very common in each and every person. So when you talk about the basic human instinct, like love, like your connection with your Lord, or your patriotism, each and everything, it's we say it's fitrat. Fitrat means basic human instinct that each and every person has in their life. So when you touch that tone, that your work will be relevant for each and every person of each and every era who will read it. That's the thing that I found out, and that's what I did in my work. That when if I want my works, I want my cinemas to be relevant for the years to come to every generation, then I need to talk with people. I need to touch the things that is attached to their fitrat or their human instinct.
و من سعی کردم با این زبان آشنا بشم، با زبان فطرت. برای همینه که مثلا فیلم بچه آسمان الان 26 سال ازش می‌گذره. نسل‌های الان دارن بچه آسمان رو می‌بینن که هنوز به دنیا نیامده بودن. من بعضی وقتا خیلی جا باهاش مواجه میشم. ببینم همون تأثیری که 20 سال پیش گذاشتم الان داره. و بعضی وقتا
And that's why if you see that my film Children of Haven, I made it 26 years ago. but it's relevant till date. I am being asked about this film from the generations, from the people who are talking to me. They were not even born that time when I made that film. But the people who are talking to me today about this film, they are this young generation. And even I think that the generation who are not born yet, in future I'll also have to talk with them about this film, because this film made that connection to every person of every generation.
من بعضی وقتا شوخی میگم که شوخی که جدیه، میگم بچه آسمان فقط تو کره ما نمایش ندادن، همه جای دنیا. من تقریبا اونجا رفتم، همه جای دنیا بچه آسمان دیدن، یعنی لااقل سینماگرانشون دیدن حداقلش، اگر این کل مردم ندیده باشه. ولی این رازش در چیه که همه جای دنیا این فیلم رو دیدن، همه دوست دارن. این همون زبان فطرت.
I sometimes say with fun that my film Children of Haven is not only for this world, it's a universal film. Like if films are made out of this world, it will be relevant to them too. Of course it's fun, but I actually mean that my film is relevant to each and every person of the world. In every corner of the world, if there's a human and he or she watches it, he will feel the feelings of the movie. He or she will be able to connect with the film. And that's what I thought, that I feel that this is the secret, that when you make films or something and you want it to be eternal forever, you need to make it connectable to people.
یه خاطره جالبی هم چون راجع به فیلم بچه‌ها صحبت شد، یه خاطره کوچولی هم تعریف کنم که شاید خستگی جلسه هم بره.
And I would also like to, as the thing came, I would also like to share a very small experience of myself with all of you. Maybe it will also help to eradicate the boredness of hearing of me for a long time.
همین 3-4 سال پیش بود این خاطره. خب من واسه که بالاخره حالا فیلم سازم، مردم میشناسن، چه تو ایران چه خارج از ایران. مثلا تو ایران خب مردم میان ابراز احساسات میکنن، احساسشون همیشه یه ارتباط خیلی نزدیکی هست.
It's not very old, it's a very recent thing, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and as a filmmaker, by God's grace, I'm familiar, and people from all over the world, they know me, and when they see me, they come to me and they share their feelings to me. They share they express their feelings about my works, and they come to me and talk to me.
یه روز پشت چراغ قرمز بودم، داشتم با تلفن صحبت میکردم، ترافیک بودم، جا آروم میرفتم، داشتم با تلفن صحبت میکردم. ماشین.
One day I was on car and I was on red light, and so I was waiting and I was actually talking in my phone.
بعد دیدم که یه دختر بچه‌ای بودم، مثلا 9 سال 10 سال. معمولا دختران که بچه‌هایی که سر چهارراه معمولا هستن، مثلا گل می‌فروشن، مثلا یا شیشه ماشین تمیز می‌کنن که خیلی جا هستن بچه‌ها.
And I saw a girl of a 9-year-old girl there, very close to my car, and or generally when we find this kind of kids in the street, they actually sell flowers or something like that.
یه دختری که میزنه به شیشه، یه 3-4 تا گل روز دستش بود. بعد منم چون داشتم صحبت می‌کردم، با دست اشاره می‌کردم که گل نمی‌خوام.
So that girl came to my car and she knocked on the glasses, and it was open, so she offered me 3 to 4 roses. But as I was busy talking on the phone, I just moved my hand and said that, please go, I don't want this flowers now.
همینجوری برام اومدم تا پشت چراغ قرمز، دیدم این دختر همینجوری با من اومد. معمولا خب اینا فروشنده خیلی تجربه اینجوری که خیلی تلاش میکنن که به هر قیمتی بتونن محصولشون رو بفروشن.
I then put down my glass of the her, and then I was about to say that, dear, I don't really need these flowers now.
دیدم این دختره بلافاصله شیشی که اومد پایین این گلا رو گذاشت جلوی فرمون ماشین من، گفت اینا برای بچه آسمان و رفت.
And I just put on the car glass and I was about to say this, but I saw that she just threw those flowers to my car and she said to me that these flowers are for the children of heaven.
خیلی متأثر شدم، خیلی اصلا انقدر شوکه شدم، اصلا یه لحظه خیلی به هم بد شد.
I was like really awestruck by the circumstance, by the sequence that just happened right before my eyes, and for some moment I just became like speechless and I just got awestruck.
سری چراغ سرش من اومدم اون ور خیابون نگه داشتم، اینقدر یوگی شدم چون دیدم دختره مثلا 10-12 سال بچه آسمان حداقل 16-17 سال از این بزرگتره. این 16-17 سال پیش دختر وقتی که بچه آسمان ساخته شد اصلا به دنیا نیومده بود. همین الان هم بچه آسمان از 16-17 سال بزرگتره. چطور شده بچه آسمان؟ و من چجوری شدم؟ اصلا خیلی حس عجیبی پیدا کردم و دنبال دختری گشتم که پیداش کنم.
As I said, that I was really awestruck and I was like thinking that how come this girl who sells flowers in the streets knows about the children of heaven. It's like she was not even born then. It's 15 or 16 years ago she was born, and then how come she knows about this? How come she recognized me? How come she gave this flowers to me? And so I came out of my car and I really searched for her. I wanted to go to her and ask her that how come you know me? How come you gave this to me?
اینقدر به من تأثیر گذاشت. من گلا رو تا همین شب مثلا یه سال پیشم داشتم توی جابجایی تو دفترم، تصویر گلا چون پرشدی این گلا رو نگه داشتم و اینقدر من این صحنه تأثیر گذاشت که من همینجوری با من بودیم داستان دختر بچه با من داره کار میکنه ولی همچین شعوری داشته یه همچین آقایی داشته. اینقدر من تأثیر گذاشت که فیلم آخر من خورشید راجع به همین بچه هست، راجع به همین بچه کاره که توی اون فیلم خورشید که حالا بعدها خواهید یا دیدید بحث اینه که این بچه ها که سر چهارراه هستن اینا هر کدومشون یه آدمای بزرگی هستن، اینا گنجن، اینا رو به عنوان یه آدمای معمولی نگاه نکنید، اینا هر کدومشون میتونن یه روزی آدم بزرگتر از مجیدی بشن. قصه یه فیلم خورشید همین روی بچه ها همون تأثیری بود که من از دختر گرفتم و فیلم خورشید رو بعد از 3 سال 4 سال از اون موقع ساختم.
But the street was really like very crowded and I couldn't find her. But that incident, it struck me so deeply that even 1 year ago, till 1 year ago, I had those flowers dried on my office and I preserved them, and each time I looked at them, I really cherish this. And you know, the last film that I made, Sun Children, it's actually inspired from this incident, and I really actually portrayed about the life of those kids who are on the streets, bound to live their life in a different way that we are living our life now. But I made this film to being very much like awestruck by this incident, and I would like to tell you all that when you see a kid selling something on the street, don't look at them like they are very ordinary people. They are actually very extraordinary person. And each one of them has the capability to one day they will be bigger than Majid Majidi himself.
خیلی بچه‌ها میخوام بگم همینه که شما اگر که فیلم می‌سازید فکر کنید که این فرق یه فیلمه که ماندگار میشه. من همیشه میگم که فرق سینمای ماندگار، سینمای سازی جیترای کلاس خیلی از سینماگران بزرگ در قیاس با یه سری از فیلمسازایی که فیلم مثلا بین فرق کتاب با روزنامه است.
I always say that, especially to the young generation of filmmakers who are pursuing their life making cinemas, I would like to tell you all that, in my opinion, the difference between creating a work that will keep you alive forever and creating only a work. The difference between these two is the difference between a book and a newspaper.
شما روزنامه دیروز امروز نمیخونید، درسته؟ تیتر روزنامه دیروز امروز نمیخونید.
You never repeat or you never read yesterday's newspaper, do you? The paper only relevant for today, but you will not read it tomorrow.
ولی یک کتاب خوب، یک رمان خوب، کتاب خوب رو میخونید، کتاب خوب رو بعد هم بهش مراجعه میکنید. وقتی هم چند بار خوندید که افتخارات من فلان کتاب تو کتاب خونم دارم، برای همیشه کتاب رو یاد.
But when you read a good book, you not only read it, if possible you take it with you, you keep it on your personal library, and whenever you feel the need of it, you will take it out from wherever it is, and you will take inspiration from that.
بنابراین هنری میتونه ماندگار باشه که به انسان نزدیک بشه و به فطرت بشر نزدیک باشه. این هنر برای همیشه ماندگار. هنری که منتسب به سیاست باشه، به ژورنالیستی باشه، به مسائل همینجوری چیزی بگذره، عین خود سیاست هم ابی میره. سیاست امروز چیزی که خوبه فردا چیزی و بنابراین هنرمند شأنش خیلی بالاتر از اینه. نمیخوام بگم نگاه سیاسی نداشته باشه، ولی نگاهش باید رو به جلو به انسان باشه. برای همینه که هر اثر هنری که به انسان میپردازه، چه در ادبیات، چه در شعر، چه در هر شکلی به انسان پرداخته، همیشه ماندگار و جاودانه.
And that's why I tell you all that when you want to make a piece of art, you will put all of your effort to make it eternal by connecting it with the people, the soul of a human. When you do this, I don't say that don't have your political, like your personal way of thinking for your political situation or cultural situation or whatever is going on. But a filmmaker is really above of all of this. What he is creating, it should be acceptable, it should connect with each and every one of them. It should not be from any specific perspective that you do it. Okay, and so when you do it, your work will be eternal, you will be memorable for each and every one, and your work will be alive forever.
راهکارهای ادبی چه در رمان چه در شعر همیشه وقتی ما نگاه می‌کنیم که به انسان نزدیک بودن و برای انسان گفتن، برای همین ما می‌گیم.
Even if you look at the literature, there are so many stories, poems, and so many pieces of literary works all over the world, but not all of them are alive forever. Not all of them are living in people's heart. People are only connected with those that are talking about the soul of human, that are actually about the basic human instincts, that's about the picture of the human. Those things are very, even if it's a piece of literature, that's what makes it eternal.
برای همین میگم که برای رسیدن به باید به شناخت برسیدن. شناخت چجوری میرسید؟ جامعه رو بشناسید، مردم بشناسید، فرهنگ رو بشناسید، ادبیات در واقع مردمی، چیزای فولکلور و اینا رو بشناسید. شما باید راجع به همه چیه مثلا بنگلادش بدونید و همه اینا رو حذف بکنید و سعی کنید که به انسان، به آدم‌ها، به اینها نزدیک بشید. و وقت میتونید در سر موفقیت برسید.
And all these discussions that I have done till now, it was about how you choose the correct script, how you find it. So it was about when you find, but through this process, when you find your correct script, that will make you eternal forever. That will make your work done, and that's how you will be able to connect with each and every soul living in this whole world.
یه چیزی میگم اینو به عنوان همیشه خاطره در ذهنتون باقی بمونه.
One thing I would like to tell you also that, and I would request you that please remember it always.
هر وقت میخواید یه اثری رو تولید کنید، اول از خودتون سوال کنید من برای چی باید این فیلم رو بسازم؟
And sorry, I missed one line that I would like to say you all now. That he said that to find that correct script of yours, you need to know your man. You need to know your people. You need to know your country. You need to know your culture. So know your people, know your culture, know your root well. Only then you will be able to find the correct script that is acceptable to everyone. And the point that he actually wanted you all to remember is
من برای چی باید فیلم بسازم؟
You should always have this question in your mind that the film that I'm making, what is the purpose of making it?
این سوال خیلی مهمه بچه.
It's a very important question.
هر اثری که میخواد کار من برای چی باید این کارو بکنم؟ برای چی باید این اثر رو بسازم؟
Whatever you are making, just be clear that why are you making it? What is the purpose behind making it?
یعنی منتقد خودتون باشید و صادقانه با خودتون صحبت کنید.
That means that convinced by yourself that whatever you are making, you are convinced, you are determined that you want to make it, and then only you will be able to make it for everyone.
اینقدر صادقانه که واقعا هم صادقانه پاش واسید. اینقدر صادقانه باشه سوال از خودتون و بعدم صادقانه به خودتون جواب بدید. و وقتی صادقانه جواب بدید هم کاری که میخواید انجام میشه.
And when you are convinced, when you're determined, and when you are clear to yourself, then it will be visible in your work. People will see your vision in your work clearly when you are clear that what you are making.
مثال به شما میگم.
For example,
شما میگی که خب من میخوام این فیلم رو بسازم. آدم معروفی میشم. مثلا میخوام این فیلم بره تو فستیوالا جایزه بگیره که آدم معروفی بشه. سوال دیگه خودتون سوال.
Like you are thinking that you will make a film that will take part in international festivals and it will be recognized by people of the world and it will be awarded in the world.
اینو میگم برای اینکه برای با جوانایی که ارتباط داشتم جهانشون تقریبا میشناسن. خیلی ازشون میخوان سریع معروف بشن. یکی از معروف شدنش میگه خب من یه فیلم میسازم که بره تو فستیوالا مطرح بشه و جایزه بگیره و آدم معروف بشه.
I'm saying this because in today's generation, we see this tendency that they want to be famous overnight, and for that they want to make films that will be shown on international levels, and they think that this is the way that will make them famous to the world very soon or in a very short way.
من میخوام فیلم بسازم، فیلم کامرشال، میخوام پولدار بشم.
Or they think like I'll make a film and I'll make a very good amount of money out of it.
نمیدونم میخوام آدم معروفی بشم یا هر سوال جدی. اینا صادقانه خودتون بپرسید.
But I don't know, if you want to like make films on this purpose, then it's really, really important that you ask yourself that is this really the reason that's why you are making it?
یه چیز جالب به شما بگم. 90% چیزایی که شما فکر میکنید رو، اون چیزایی که دنبالشین به کسی نمیگید ولی با خودتون قرار میذارید و سوالی که خودتون میپرسید. میخوام بگم که 90% فکرایی که میکنید ممکن اتفاق بیفته ولی قطعا در واقع راهش خیلی کوتاه مدته. یعنی چجوری بگم؟ ممکن مثلا با یک فیلم یا دو فیلم اون چیزایی که دارید اتفاق بیفته ولی چون هدف خیلی کوتاه مدته مطمئن باشید که راه به جایی نمیبره.
And I would like to tell you that when you think this way, maybe for one or two film the thing that you are trying to achieve, maybe you will be able to achieve that, or maybe you will be able to complete what you were trying to achieve. But as the purpose behind it, the purpose behind your making is not a very long lasting thing. The work that you are making will also not be long lasting.
ولی بچه ها اگر که نسبت به کاری که میخواید بکنید یه تعهد یعنی که به عنوان یک چی میگن رسالت بهش نگاه کنید، به عنوان چیزی که قرار هستش که چون میگن هنرمند میخواد که به هر حال یک گام جلوتر برداره از مردمش و جامعهش، خودش رو فرد مسئولی میبینه نسبت به مردم و جامعهش. وقتی که با یک نگاه عمیق‌تری به این مسئله نگاه کرده بشه، به عنوان یه آدم مسئول، وظیفه شناس، مطمئن باشید که خود همین حس مسئولیت شما رو میبره جلو.
But my opinion is be a responsible person. When you take the responsibility, when you be a responsible person, when you know that what you are making, what kind of impact it can have, when you know your part of responsibility, and when you complete it with complete passion and everything, that's what will make you and your work eternal and alive forever.
میدونی شاید یه اتفاق میفته برای اینکه شما در واقع دارید بخواید خودتو، زندگی، عمرتو، نگاهتو وقف یک سری صداهایی بکنید که شنیده نمیشه و همه اون انرژی میاد به تو کمک میکنه.
It can be, there can be some incident in your life that in a phase of your life you will feel that your voices are not being heard the way they should be heard. You are trying very much, but you can't, you are not being able to reach your voice, you are not being able to tell what you are going to do. And that's when your work will come in handy for you. That's when, but through your work, people will recognize you, people will recognize your voice, and that's the way that you can have a very fruitful and true impact on people.
شما فکر می‌کنم یه هنرمند در واقعی در واقع صدای مردمشه، صدای جامعهشه، صدای آدمایی که هیچ وقت شنیده نمیشه. اونها الان این نقش این رسالت این رو بازی میکنن که صدای دیگران باشن، فریاد دیگران باشن، در واقع رنج دیگران رو بتونن تصویر کنن، بتونن آدمایی که هیچ وقت هیچ جا دیده نشدن رو اونها در واقع بشناسونن. چه فرق نمیکنه چه موضوعات اشتباه، چه فرهنگ باشه، چه مسائلی. بنابراین به عنوان یه رسالت وقتی بهش نگاه میکنه هنرمند، اینی که من رسالت اون رو جلو میبرم.
And not only your voice, be the voice of the people, be the voice of the thing who don't have voices, who don't have the opportunity to be the voice. Your work will portray the feelings of them. Your work should portray the needs of them. You have that responsibility to portray their fears, their needs, their voices, their cries in front of the world, and you have the opportunity, and it's your responsibility to fulfill this work. And when you do that, that's when you do your part properly. And that's all.
Thank you for answering the questions, especially how your works influenced by the Persian literature, actually. Because without understanding the Persian literature, it will be incomplete to understand Iranian film itself. Thanks again. But I would like to, almost my questions are covered already by you. But the last one, one of your major works, that is Muhammad, the Messenger of God. You said about that film, the most ambitious and expensive film project of your entire life. And the fact is, after releasing that film, many organizations and religious leaders from many countries raised their objection and voice. And as a film director, how do you face that kind of challenges? That when the big figures are against you, how do you face that challenge?
بله. فیلم پیامبر باز جالبه یه خاطره تعریف کنم و بعد راجع به پیامبر صحبت کنم. یه خاطره رو بگم و بعد راجع به فیلم صحبت کنم.
Okay, to answer your question first, I would like to share one of my memories with you all, and then I will answer the question.
قبل از که فیلم پیامبر رو بسازم یه سال جشنواره دانمارک دعوت کرده بود من رو که در واقع از من تعریف کنه به عنوان فیلمساز به حال یه جایزه با دستاورد هنری جشنواره دیگه که مثلا یه دستاورد جایزه می‌ده دانمارک.
Before making this film, Muhammad, I was invited to a film festival. They wanted to award me and they wanted to appreciate my work and they invited me, and so I went.
درست زمانی که قرار بود من فستیوال جشنواره رو برم مصادف شد با اون سری اولین کاریکاتورهایی که علیه پیامبر اسلام در مورد کشیده شد و خب خیلی هم سر صدا کرده بود پیامبر اسلام.
Sorry, he didn't wait. He was about to go and he accepted the invitation and he was about to go. But just right before he was about to go, there were some incidents that was not very good for me, and some incidents were going against the Payghambar of the Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some incidents were happening against him, and some poems and songs were written that were really against the beliefs that we have.
وقتی که من مواجه شدم با این صحنه با این موضوع خب یه نامه برای رئیس فستیوال نوشتم ازشون تشکر کردم که این جایزه رو بخوام بدم ولی عذرخواهی کردم از اینکه نمیتونم در کشوری بیام و جایزه بگیرم که به مهمترین مقدسات من و 2 میلیارد نزدیک 2.5 میلیارد مسلمان جهان مواجه شده نمیتونم جایزه.
So that's when I wrote a letter to the organizer of that festival that I really thanked them for recognizing my work, for appreciating me, and for their thoughts to award me and all. But then I said sorry that if I participate here, I go against the feelings of all the Muslims of the world and even my personal belief. So I'm really sorry that I cannot go and I cannot come and take part on your festival.
خب من وقتی که این نامه رو نوشتم بعدش واقعا تو فکر می‌کردم که ما بعد از اون خب شروع شد مثل تورنی‌های پیامبر اسلام همینجور در کشورهای دیگه مثل تو فرانسه روزنامه‌های دیگه همینجور شروع شد علیه اسلام و پیامبر تورنی کرد.
And you know that after that a series of incidents came out all of this world, like the incident that happened with Charlie Hebdo in France, and all similar kind of incidents were happening all over the world, which made me really sad.
خب من وقتی با این صحنه مواجه می‌شدم خب به عنوان مسلمان ناراحت می‌شدم ولی میگفتم خب چاره چیه؟ برای اون کسایی که این کارو می‌کنن و مردم رو هم تحریش می‌کنن خب اون تقصیر نداره برای اینکه شناخت اون از اسلامی که امروزه دارن تو دنیا می‌بینن اسلام داعش، اسلام ترور، اسلامی که اصلا هیچ ربطی به اسلام نداره این اسلام داره معرفی میشه به دنیا.
And then I became really sad as Muslim, and then I started finding out that what's the reason why these kind of incidents are being a series of incidents in all over the world. And then I find out that actually people of this generation, this time, they know Islam as they see the Islam in all the world, which like they see Islam as the terrorism, Islamophobia. They know Islam mostly by IS and terrorist organizations like that. So they see the Islam from this perspective, which actually has no relation with the real Islam and real the gist of Islam, which it actually has no relation with it. But they are seeing Islam from this perspective. They are seeing Islam all over this world from these things, and that's why they are feeling that Islam are like this, Islam is like this. That's why they feel, and that's what is the reason behind their this kind of work.
و متاسفانه خب کسایی هم که دشمن در واقع این نوع دین اسلام در واقع نوع دین اسلام خب دامن زدن به این ماجرا و همه هم میدونیم برنامه در این سالها که چطور تلاش کردن که تصویری از اسلام رو نشون بدن که یا قرائتی از اسلام رو به دنیا معرفی کنن که هیچ نسبتی با اسلام واقعی نداره. این اسلام میگه اسلام دروغین، اسلام داعش، اسلام تروریسم، اینا اسلامی که اصلا نسبتی با اسلام نداره. این اسلام ساختگیه و اسلام تهجر، اسلامی که اصلا روحی از معنویت در وجودش نیست.
And I felt really, really sad and worried that unfortunately the majority of the people of the world are seeing Islam from the perspective that is actually not at all related to the real Islam. And when I saw that, I felt really sad that they're seeing Islam from a perspective of Islamic terrorism, Islamophobia, this kind of word are coming out, and the people are publicizing it, they are taking it, they're saying it everywhere. And that's when I felt as a responsible person that this is something that is need to be replied, that is because the thing that people are saying, that the people are feeling, this is actually not the real Islam.
واقعا بخوایم دین اسلام بودیم، دین اسلام یعنی چی؟ شاید خودتون کرده اسلام یعنی دین محبت، اسلام یعنی دین دوستی، دین عشق، دین سلامت. یعنی اسلام اصلا معنی اسلام یعنی اصلا تو واژه اسلام یعنی منتها چیزی که در واقع قرائتی که اشتباه میدونه.
Actually, as if you all know that Islam in it, the word, it contains salam, which means peace. Islam is the religion of peace. Islam is the religion of love. Islam is the religion of mysticism. Islam is the religion of connections with your Creator. That's what real Islam is, and that's how it should be portrayed. That's how it should be shown.
من فکر کردم که من به جای عکس العمل در واقع فیلمی بسازم که در واقع اسلام رو بتونم، حالا به اندازه خودم بتونم یه اسلام قرائت درستی از اسلام رو بکنم. اسلامی که دین محبت.
And against the false portrayal of Islam that is being shown all over the world, I felt as a responsible person, it's my responsibility, at least from my perspective, what I believe Islam is, that I have a responsibility to save people from my perspective, and the best way I can do it is by making a film as a filmmaker. So
و متاسفانه خب این فیلم رو 7 سال طول کشید تا من بسازم. برای فکر می‌کردم که باید فیلم بزرگ راجع به پیامبر اسلام ساخته بشه که میتونه از همه جهت تکنیکی و چیزی هم فیلم قابل قبولی باشه.
And it took me almost 7 years to complete this film, from thinking it to executing it the way I wanted, and I had to take a lot of preparations. I really had to do a lot of hard work, and it took me almost 7 years to complete it. And then I felt that what I wanted to show was ready to show.
من یه تحلیل کردم بودم که در مورد پیامبران دیگه، مثلا در مورد حضرت عیسی، حضرت موسی، شاید بالای نزدیک 100 فیلم ساخته شده. چه فیلم سینمایی، چه سریال ساخته